In the last video I showed you how to solve quadratic equations, and I used a very simple method to get the answers, the two values of x's. Now this time I'm going to show you how to use the quadratic formula to solve equations like this. So that looks quite difficult, but once you've used it a couple of times you just get used to it. And this here I'm pointing at, that's the general form of a quadratic equation. So you've got ax squared, which relates to 2x squared. You've got the bx, that relates to minus 3x, and you've got the c, that relates to minus 2. So let's see this in action. I've got the same equation as I've just had in the previous video. I know what the answers are, but I want to see if I can replicate the answers using the quadratic formula. Now normally you want to use a quadratic formula if, let's say, it's difficult to factorize, if it's difficult using the other methods other than using the quadratic formula. So let's try this then. That's our a, so a is equal to 2, b is equal to the middle number minus 3, and c is equal to minus 2, that one there. The sign is important. That's a minus 2, that's a minus 2, that's a positive 2. So now quickly jot down the quadratic formula. The entire thing is a fraction. Now what I'd like to do is I like to put brackets around these. Now when I type this formula into my calculator with the brackets are like very useful to contain negative numbers. It takes care of negative numbers. So we'll see that in a moment. But what I'm going to do is now substitute these values into the formula as part of my working out. So here's a minus as part of the formula. That b takes on the value of minus 3, so you put the minus 3 there. Right, choose one of these. I can't do these both at the same time, so just choose one. I'll choose a plus for now. And just simply substitute the necessary numbers into the formula. So b is minus 3. A is 2, and c is minus 2. All over a is 2. Right. All I need to do now, that will give me the first value of x. So all I've got to do now is put this into the calculator. Start off with the fraction button and then work your way. Copy exactly what you've got here into the calculator. Very easy to make mistakes. So notice I've got a minus, it's part of the formula, so start off with a minus. I've done the numerator, so just want to check. It's always useful to check if what you've got here matches what you've got on your paper. And that's why it's useful to have this on a piece of paper. If you try to do directly, put these numbers into the calculator, you just might easily miss something. So it's better to have this as part of the working out. Right, so everything's fine. I've just checked everything. Right, I'm on the denominator now. That's just 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, x is equal to 2. But if you look back, that was one of the answers, x equals 2. Right, at this moment you're thinking, well, why couldn't I just use that method? Now I'm just showing you a method, how to use a quadratic formula. I mean, the question could have been a lot harder than this, where the answers are decimal. Then you wouldn't have been able to use this method so easily. So to find the other value of x, same formula, same numbers, but this time instead of the plus, I'm going to choose minus in place of plus. See, this time not plus, I'm using a minus. Now I've got the template, the formula, the template for the formula already there, so I'm not going to delete it. Just going to go back and replace that plus with a minus this time. So I need to drag the cursor back. Missed it. Right. There you go. Just press the equal button now. I get minus 0.5. So x is equal to minus 0.5, which is what I had in my previous calculation. So there you have it. So all you got to do is be careful what you type into the calculator. I've noticed sometimes people, what they do is, see this part here, they put a time symbol here for some reason. Sometimes people forget to put the minus there. It's part of the formula. Now, very quickly, I want to show you how to do this without a calculator. So we've got our fraction there. Minus and minus makes a positive, so that will be just 3. You got the plus there. Square root. Minus 3 squared means minus 3 times minus 3. So minus 3 times minus 3 is 2 negatives make a positive, so that's 9. Got minus there. Right, 4, careful with this, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times negative 2, 8 times minus 2 is minus 16. But watch what happens here, you got 2 negatives now, right? So you've seen what happened here, you know why there's a minus here, just to highlight that. That minus is there because of this. And that minus 16 came from 4 times 2 times minus 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Let's take it one step further. 2 negatives make a positive, so that'll be 9 add 16 is 25 over 4. So what does that give us now? That's 3 plus, well, square root of 25, square root of 25 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's what we had over here. Let's do this one without a calculator. It's going to take almost the same form as this, so I'll just copy, you know what, I can just copy that over here. Same calculations, except this time, instead of a plus, it's a minus here. So that'll be 3 take away square root of 25 over 4. Well, that's 3 take away 5 is minus 2, and it's minus 2 over 4. Minus 2 divided by 4, that's minus a half. That's minus 0.5 is what I've got here, look. Minus 0.5, minus 0.5. If necessary, you can leave it as a fraction.